man who became a monster.
Dig this. Dig this.
Man, a man can't do nothing no more.
Dig. Dig.
Hey folks, it's kind of ironic that I recently uploaded a video about the downside of interracial dating or mixed couples. Kind of ironic, the kind of timing of this for what I've recently been told. Now, let me give you some background story first. Right, my oldest son, he's 20 years old and he's had a girlfriend now for coming on for a couple of years now. She's white. This is very important in the story. Now, apparently, her father didn't like the idea of his daughter dating a black man, even though, yeah, he's biracial, but if you was to see him, he's the dark biracial. He's very dark in terms of biracial standards. He's like you could call him red bone. In the black community, if you're not from the black community, we have a terminology called red bone. Red bone would be like Mike Tyson's color. Yeah, Mike Tyson is about the most famous person I could think. Or is the Rock red bone? Borderline. But Mike Tyson, definitely he would be red bone. So that's the famous person I could think of who would be classed as red bone or red skin, as we say in the Caribbean community, red skin. Anyway, right. So that's the description of my son. Now the father said back then he didn't like the idea of his daughter dating a black man, and he made it very clear that he wasn't happy about it, and he distanced himself. I think he may even said a few derogatory things as well, I think. But basically, sorry for the notification there. So basically, he made it quite clear. Well, it was quite clear that he's a racist, right? Anyway, in that time, everybody else in her family has ignored the father and taken to my son really well. In fact, you know, they love him. That's the feedback. You know, everyone loves my son. Now here, get a load of this. Recently, I've just heard that the father now regrets everything he said. He regrets his actions, and he feels a bit of an arse. Now, he hasn't reached out to my son, but my son, I'll tell you the feedback of my son in a minute, but I'm curious to get your feedback on this, right? So here's my opinion on the whole scenario now. Now that he's full of regret, there's two angles of myself. The Martin Luther King side of me says, if you approach us with an olive branch, right, you are forgiven on condition, and the condition is you're on probation. You've got a year suspended sentence, and if you mess up in that probation period of a year, you're out, completely out. That's the Martin Luther King side of me. But the Malcolm X side of me says, fuck you. No probation, no mercy. You could go fuck yourself. So I'm curious to see what is your feedback. If you lean on the Malcolm X side, you could leave a comment and put either at the X at the end or to say Malcolm X, or if you're on the Martin Luther King side, you could leave your comment ending or even beginning with the word king or ending with the word king. I'm just curious to see what is your feedback. For me, how would I take it? Well, I'll cross that bridge. If I have to cross that bridge, I'll cross that bridge at the time. But I gotta be honest, I'm leaning more to the Malcolm X side. I gotta be honest, I'm leaning more to the Malcolm X than I am to the Martin Luther King side. But we'll see what kind of mood I am in on the day if I have to come across that. So anyway, leave your feedback.